Well, Kamaru, obviously we're only a few days away from the trilogy fight against Leon Edwards here in London. So I guess what are the emotions now that fight camp is gone, is over with? All you got to do is focus on making weight and then fighting Leon Edwards again.
Damn, where's John Morgan?
Back in America.
No, it's a good feeling. I think I'm in a space to where, and I've said this the last couple of fights, I'm grateful to just be here. Grateful to, be at another fight, another event, and headlining another event. I'm just grateful. I'm blessed, and I'm extremely happy. Also because training camps are so damn hard. It's just like, when you make it to fight week, it's like, oh shit, thank God.
Before your fight with Leon, a lot of the conversation was all these records and everything, and you always kind of no-sold it. You said, that's not my focus. Has that changed at all? Like, is the focus on beating Leon? Is it getting the belt back? Or what is the focus this camp?
No, that was never my focus, which is why I feel a lot of people are saying, oh, well, the way you handled it this way or that way, and I don't care. It was, I've been over 300 wrestling matches before, to where you might get beat this weekend, but guess what? You got another one next weekend. You got to be able to get yourself back up for that. And I've been doing that for a long, long time. So, the focus is the same as it always is each and every time. I go in there to dominate. I go in there to win. That has never changed. And with my preparation, I try to make sure that always happens.
Given how the last fight was playing out up until the end, how much did you have, or if anything, do you have to change in camp or preparation or game plan, given you, like, a few minutes later, you most likely would have had your hand raised?
Well, for one, keep your damn hands up so you don't get kicked in the head. That's important. But it's been from the beginning of my career to where I am now. If you watch the way that I fight, and you've seen all my performances, how much more do I need to change? I've been blessed with coaches that know how to get to me, that know how to just give me directions to where what I'm doing, what I've been doing is working. I go so hard in training camps and preparing for these fights to where I have that much of a gap on everybody just because of how much I prepare. So, this camp was basically correcting some, little mistakes that I made in the fight. That was the sole purpose of it. And, Saturday, once I go out there and I correct those mistakes, how's the loss happen?
Then also, given how the last fight was playing out, do you think fans outside of the UK, do you think they view Leon as the champion, or do they see like the 20-something minutes of that fight and then the one moment at the end, and they still consider you the better fighter between the two?
No, I can't say that he has the belt, so, by definition, he's called the champion. He's the champion. I don't know. That's for them to decide. I don't know how people view him. But between him and I, we know how we know. We know. And so I can't really speak for everybody else, but he is the champion because he has that belt. But Saturday, I'm going to go take that off of him. And that's truly my focus. I mean, he landed a beautiful kick. It's beautiful. I mean, I watched the shit because obviously they show it a million times. That was the only damn highlight from him they could show in that fight, but they showed it a million times, and I'm just like, he's a beautiful kick. I mean, just the recoil and everything, I'm a fan of it.
So going off of that last one for me, we've all seen the video clip of immediately after you're backstage and you look at the camera and you say, like, congratulations, Rocky, see you soon. So did you have to mentally reset, or is it right back into like, I gotta prepare for Leon Edwards right away again?
I've just been trained that way. You could be in the first wrestling match in the national tournament and get pinned. But now you got 7 more or however many more coming back in order to be able to get on that awards podium. And so I'm just wired that way.
Kamaru?
As soon as we got to that hospital, I was just like, damn, okay, let's get ready for the next one. And so, yeah, it was a beautiful technique, great win from him. But it's time for me to go in there and get violent.
Yeah, Kamaru, over here, right in front of you. Hi. Leon talks about the altitude and how it had an effect on him. Do you think your style, regardless your pressure, your wrestling, was going to drown him anyway?
I mean, the thing with that is, it's funny. You are an athlete, you're an elite athlete who your job is to prepare for a competition. Now you prepare for that competition. Did Leon not know that he was going to be fighting at altitude? He did. And he prepared. He was there 2 weeks or so before, and that still happened. Now the one thing that you guys have to really account for is, I know you guys hear a lot of those excuses from him. That wasn't the first time Leon and I fought. And that first fight looked a lot like that second fight. So if he wants to believe that it was the altitude, then it is what it is. He can believe that. But nothing changes for me. Altitude or no altitude. I know what I come to do.
And he seems to think that the knockout's going to have an effect on you mentally. Did you hear his comments on that? And what are your thoughts?
Leon hasn't wrestled in over 300 wrestling matches like I have. Leon hasn't competed as many times as I have. You know, when you get pinned, and I've been in a situation to where I've lost the first match, wrestling match of the day. Now you're in the consolation bracket and you just gotta, it's a dogfight to try to get back up on that podium. And I've been on that podium a lot of times. And so it's, to that statement, I would say is, it's warranted when you're speaking about ordinary things and ordinary people. So people think, oh yeah, that's so typical. When something like that, a trauma happens, you know, most people are gonna gonna be disturbed about it. Yeah, that's when you're speaking about ordinary people. But Leon Edwards and I both know that I am not ordinary. I am extraordinary.
And there's a lot of debate on pound for pound. You once held that #1 spot. Do you think reclaiming your welterweight title, you should be #1 again?
I don't care, you know, that I never really cared. That pound for pound was just a conversation piece. I never really said, unless, you know, obviously I had to do promo stuff and say, yeah, pound for pound. But I don't walk around my house telling my daughter, I'm pound for pound champ, go to your room. You know, I never really cared. You know, it's a conversation piece. So I don't really put much into that, but that's a hard conversation to have when Jon Jones is in the picture and he's the heavyweight champion now.
One last one. You've achieved a lot, defended your title multiple times, future Hall of Famer. So what's your motivation at this point in your career?
That's a good question because it changes. You know, when you start to just defend and defend and defend, it does kind of get lackadaisical. It just kind of gets repetitive. But this one is like, immediately I found it on the ride to that hospital after 278. It's with Floyd Mayweather, when he's so, you know, undefeated, unbeatable, people, it's almost boring to watch him. People are just like, he's gonna win every time. That's boring. No one wants to, you know, the only reason people are watching is because they want to see someone's able to beat him. And so I just found, I got presented with an opportunity to be able to fall as a champion and rise again. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is I'm raising a daughter who, the gymnastic gets hard. I can hear her in the room telling her mom, it's hard, I don't want to go, you know. And so I'm presented now with an opportunity to let her know that, you know, you can stumble, you can fall, but, you know, you got to get back up and get on that horse and keep going.
Kamaru, down here to your left. You're entering enemy territory to try and reclaim the welterweight title.
Am I?
I know there's a big Nigerian
This is
population.
London, they love me here. And it's half Nigeria. I'm home.
Well, are you relishing silencing those fans that will be booing you on Saturday night?
Boos or cheers, doesn't matter. I don't pay attention to the crowd. I never really did. I never really did. I don't pay attention to the crowd. I mean, they get a little loud because and it makes it hard to hear the coaches, but I never pay attention to the crowd. I've been booed before. I fought in Florida. Even though I'm a resident of Florida, I got booed when I fought Jorge Masvidal. But, you know, it was one thing about that. I was feeling violent, and I wanted to do some violent things, and I did do that. And I'm feeling that way this weekend.
And you touched on the Nigerian population in the UK. Are you expecting to see the green and white flags dotted throughout?
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know what I expect. I just expect a bunch of rowdy fans having the time of their life because we're bringing the biggest, arguably the biggest fight that the UK's ever seen.
And a bit off topic here, I don't know if you saw this, but this question is very pertinent because you're the first African UFC champion. Did you see did you hear Dricus du Plessis, there's a difficult name to pronounce, his comments about being the African fighter in the UFC?
Oh, I actually saw that. I think it was this week or last week. My one of my former teammates sent it to me. They're trying to be messy, of course. I saw it, and the thing about me is just I try not to be quick to jump on someone and really kill them for those things. I'm not part of this cancel culture, but though I understand what he's trying to say. But the one thing that I think he's failing to realize is, just because I go to China and my parents are in China and I'm raised in China, that doesn't make me more Chinese than people from China. That doesn't make me more Chinese. And so just because you went over to South Africa and you're raised there, that doesn't make you African. So, I would say to him, it's just, try to be a little bit more careful with what you say and how you say it, because, that's the thing nowadays is these younger guys and these newer guys, they get up here and they just talk. They just, because they want to appeal to the fans, appeal to the people. But try to be more mindful, because 20 years from now, that's not going to age well.
And I know you say you like to take stock of things and you don't jump on them straight away, but what was your initial reaction after hearing that? Because it's quite jarring.
It was funny because I've actually trained with the guy. So it's like, bruh, you know how I get down. If it's one of those type of situations, you know how I get down. But, it was it's nothing like that. It's after, that first immediate, like, hey, are you serious? Because it sounded personal. Well, because he took direct shots. He mentioned, myself and Israel Adesanya, I believe. And it was like, bro, I actually kind of know you. And so, I think it was just, heat of the moment. He got up there, he's excited, he just got a big win, and he was just running off. But at the end of the day, the wiser side of me is like, okay, I understand what he was trying to say, but bro, that doesn't make you more African.
Thank you.
Leon, you could have probably picked where this fight took place, right? The UFC wanted this rematch, it's a big fight, but they came to you and you accepted doing it in London. I'm curious, why would you want to do that? Because you say you don't listen to the fans, but there's got to be something about coming out here and beating Leon in his home country that is appealing to you.
Well, that is appealing, but I wanted to come to... I've probably stopped at the Heathrow airport maybe 12 times. I've never been inside of London, really. And so it's, I want everybody knows London. London's kind of like a stop, in the, epicenter of the world. It's somewhere, and I've always kind of wanted to go there. And so this was just like, it's one of those moments. I got to a position to where I was kind of did everything there was to do. Headline Vegas, I did that. Headline MSG, I did that. It's like, what's bigger? What's next? Oh shit, get the opportunity to go to London and headline at the O2 Arena? Why not? I called Dana that night, I said, Dana, let's go to London. Let's go to London. And if this was this summer, we'd be at, Sheffield or what's the other one? Wembley. We'd be at one of them stadiums.
Sheffield, I'll tell you.
Yeah, okay, not there. All right.
And you've seen I'm assuming you've seen some of the events they've had at the O2 with the fans and how crazy they get. Is that just something you wanted on your career bucket list? Like, hey, I got to perform in front of some rabid fans.
I love it. I think I don't really, when you're living in a life, it's kind of hard to comprehend and understand some of the things that you're accomplishing or that you're seeing and how big or how great they are. This just kind of feels normal to me, but one day I'm gonna sit back and like, damn, MSG, I headline MSG, I headline O2 Arena in London. It's just kind of one of those things to where I'm trying to be mindful of knowing that, this is life, time's gonna pass by, and you're gonna look back and some of the amazing things that you were able to to witness and to be a part of. So this was just kind of one of those.
And last one for me, before your loss to Leon, you made it clear that, you know, you'd done a lot at welterweight and you're sort of looking at some more loftier career goals. You mentioned 205 and stuff like that. Has this sort of setback put you to like, okay, I'm good at welterweight, or are you going to just resume exactly where you left off just as soon as you correct this mistake?
That's a good question. It's, you know, when you start to just beat up everybody and you've done it once and you're doing it twice again, it kind of gets a little boring. You know, at that point, I was still feeling good and wanting to just challenge myself. That's why I wanted to do something as crazy as pulling Canelo into the boxing ring. You know, you just want to challenge yourself with other things. You know, no disrespect to the welterweights. It was just like when you have such a gap on everyone, it's just like you want to, and it's just a short period of time. Our fighting career is a short window. So I want to be able to test myself in every way possible to just be like, I really pushed the envelope. But, you know, now we're faced with adversity and a setback, so that's my focus now. You know, Leon's made himself very visible to me. So it's like, all right, let's go ahead and deal with this adversity first before we could ever think of something else.
Kamaru, just over here. How does it feel this week, being the challenger this time?
It feels like a normal fight week. You know, it's, I have to come here and do all this media. You know, I like you guys, but, you know, I got to wait. So, you know, I got to come here and do all this media. Everything is the same. You know, it's the same, and I as much as it's exhausting, I love it because it's all part of the journey. And, you know, just speaking with my mentors and all the guys that have done this before, it's, you know, I'm gonna miss this one day once it's gone. I'm gonna miss coming in here and talking to all of you guys and have you guys ask me questions. So it's been normal. It's been the same. My mindset is the same. I went through a hellacious training camp. I mean, you're training alongside guys like Justin Gaethje. It's not easy. And so I went through a hellacious training camp to prepare for this fight, and, you know, I'm just blessed with the opportunity to be able to go out there and perform for you guys.
Is the pressure different? I mean, do you feel more pressure, or is it more of a weight off your shoulder not having those high expectations?
Truthfully, it's a little different. It's not as much. Like, you know, the pressure is going to be on him. It's a lot of pressure, whether you believe it or not, to have to defend. Each and every time defend, because that lifestyle changes drastically when you're not the champion anymore. It does. And so, excuse me, it changes. Like I wanted to, like I've said before, I wanted to silence some of that noise. When you're the champion and you're just unbeatable and you're beating everybody, it's you kind of start to get this aura of invincibility, and everybody wants to be around that. Everyone wants to just feel it. Everybody wants to taste it. And so it brings on a lot of noise and a lot of energy that just starts to drain you and wear you out. And so after that last fight, it just kind of calmed down. It quieted down. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, you've been quiet, relatively quiet. Just like I was before I became the champion. You know, it's not necessarily I've been quiet. I've just been working. When I wasn't the champion, I wasn't getting calls, hey, fly here to this event. Hey, you got to do this interview. You got to do that. You know, so I was just enjoying and cherishing, you know, that opportunity again to just grind.
And moments ago, we spoke to Leon Edwards, and he believes that you're on your way out and that he will open the door for you on Saturday. What's your reaction to those comments?
Oh, he's going to open the door for me because I'm the king. He opened the door for me